Now, in Turkey, tensions are rising as a court delays a crucial ruling that could oust Özel, the leader of the main opposition CHP, over alleged vote rigging. The move raises fears that President Erdogan is tightening his grip on power. Well, on Sunday, tens of thousands of people protested in the capital, Ankara, ahead of Monday's hearing. This all follows the controversial arrest of Istanbul Mayor Ekrem İmamoğlu in March, Erdogan's main rival, triggering the biggest anti-government protests in over a decade. Ellen Gainsford takes a closer look at the case now.
A sea of red covers Ankara's Tandoğan Square. Tens of thousands of people take to the streets to support Turkey's main opposition party, the CHP. The group is facing a legal crackdown, including accusations of procedural irregularities during the party's 2023 Congress, which could strip the party's chairman, Özgür Özel, of his title. Özel denounced the move as politically motivated.
This case is political. The allegations are slander. Our friends are innocent. This is a coup. It is a coup against the future president and government. We will resist. We will resist. We will resist.
Judicial attacks on the CHP party have been mounting since the group's large win over the ruling AKP party in local elections in 2024, with hundreds jailed pending trial. Another figurehead of the group, Istanbul's mayor, Ekrem İmamoğlu, is currently in prison on charges of corruption. Prior to his arrest, he was considered one of the most serious electoral rivals to President Erdogan. These events have enraged protesters.
We're here for our freedom, for democracy, for rights and law.
Today I came here to speak out against the injustices that have been increasing recently and to demand our rights. As a young person preparing for exams, I'm very worried about the future.
If Özgür Özel is removed from his role as party chairman, the CHP already has plans to organize a fresh party congress on the 21st of September to elect a replacement to his post.
Well, let's talk more about this. Let's bring in Berk Esen, who is an associate professor of political sciences at Sabancı University. Berk, thank you so much for joining us on the program. Really great to have you. I first of all want to
Thanks for having me.
Your insights on what's happened today. I mean, it's an anticlimactic day. We were expecting this hearing to happen and the ruling to be made. Why do you think the court adjourned the case?
Well, there could be several reasons why the courts decided to adjourn the case. Well, last week, a similar decision was taken to replace the CHP's, the main opposition party's Istanbul provincial leader, and that was met with a popular backlash. There was indeed widespread protest that occurred in Istanbul, so the government may have been scared of sort of escalating at this point, especially considering that there was a massive rally organized in Ankara yesterday, and you're watching the footage. There might be it's still an indecisive moment within the ruling coalition as to what to do with the main opposition party, because if they were to take the decision to annul the convention results of the main opposition party, this would in effect redesign the main opposition party's leadership and end multi-party system in Turkey as we know it. That is a drastic step, and basically the government may have decided to not escalate things at this point. And of course, the third reason is that Turkish economy is in a poor state, and I don't know if the government has sufficient foreign currency reserves to back up such an anti-democratic move, because clearly the stock markets would have responded in a very negative way. Instead, the government decided, well, the courts decided to delay this process. But considering how to what extent the courts are packed in the country, I think the government may be delaying this process so that there would be a better time to strike at the main opposition party.
And we did see that Turkish stocks did rally actually after that decision from the court today. This is all coming amid what feels like a widening crackdown. More than 130 party activists and officials are now in prison over corruption or terrorism charges. Is it your opinion that these charges against the leader is politically motivated?
Well, I mean, it is difficult for me to say anything definitive about this case, but it seems to be based on dubious grounds. Not least because of the fact that the main opposition party's convention took place almost 2 years ago, and the convention results were already ratified by the higher election council, which happens to be the highest judicial body to oversee legal matters involving political parties. So to basically go back 2 years in time and try to annul election results of a main opposition party's convention sounds a bit suspicious. And so far, the prosecutor could not really marshal any substantive evidence to suggest that indeed the delegates' support were bought by Özgür Özel, the current CHP leader. Since that convention, CHP already went on to win the 2024 local elections. And according to current opinion polls, it is the largest party in the country, in fact, surpassed the ruling party. So considering all of these developments, it is very difficult for me to really see any truth in these allegations. And in a few days' time, the main opposition party is going to have an extraordinary convention with the party's current leader as the only candidate. So there doesn't seem to be any legitimate grounds to challenge this convention. I think the real reason why the courts are going after the main opposition party leader is because he has been very successful in an increasingly authoritarian context. And I think Turkey's president, Erdogan, is very worried that at the polls in the upcoming election, the main opposition party can score some electoral victories. And so this is an attempt to prevent government turnover through the ballot box, which is concerning because if this process succeeds, then Turkey is going to revert to a fully fledged autocracy.
Well, Berk, I do want to get your opinion on a question that some are asking, whether Erdogan will extend his rule beyond 2028. His nationalist ruling partners have urged him to do so, calling for a constitutional change to abolish term limits. Do you think he will go forward with that?
He has already stated that he wants to. Just a few months ago, he stated in unequivocal terms that as long as he lives, he wants to serve. And clearly, having been the country's president for almost a decade now, he wants to retain his presidential position. So the ruling coalition needs to figure out a way to extend his term because currently he's facing presidential term limits. So they will either seek to amend the constitution, and for that, they need to receive support from an opposition party in the parliament, or they need to persuade 3/5 of the parliamentarians in the Turkish legislative body to go for early elections. So one of these two options, I think they will push for within the coming year and a half. So far, some government heavyweights suggested that Turkey may go for early elections in the autumn of 2027. So we have exactly or around 2 years until that time.
Berk, I really appreciate you coming on the program. Thank you so much for your insights today on Prime News Paris.
Thanks for having me.